Hey y'all, hey, and welcome back to another session of The Sanctuary. This is our place for reflection, growth, and connection. I'm your girl and guide, Mariah Miles, and I'm glad you're here with me today. As we continue our exploration of reflection this January, we'll focus on the theme of transitions, how they shape our lives, and the importance of embracing them with an open heart and mind. Sit back, relax, it's time to tune in. Last time on The Sanctuary, we explored the importance of letting go and how self-compassion plays a vital role in our reflections. We talked about nurturing ourselves and shared prompts to help process our past experiences. If you missed that one, I encourage you to check it out, as it provides valuable foundation for today's deep dive. Today we're sitting with January's ongoing theme of reflection and understanding transitions. We know that transitions are a natural part of life. And oh boy, can they be a mixed bag. That the only constant in life is change. Change can be big, like moving to a new city, or maybe starting a new job, or perhaps even something smaller. Yeah, smaller shift like changing your morning routine or what breakfast you eat. These moments can bring excitement, but let's be real, they can also make us feel like we're walking a tightrope without the safety net. So how do we navigate these transitions while still keeping our balance? In my experience, it's been in the reflection. Reflection is essential during times of change. It's one of those things that supports our grounding. It allows us to process our feelings and it really just extract those valuable lessons from our experiences. And yeah, sometimes it feels as though we're clawing to unearth it. What is it? Is it there? But yeah, it's there. It's like peeling that onion, the many layers. You might be thinking, reflection? Isn't that just another word for overthinking? And maybe I've been using it so loosely, I just assumed that we were on the same page, but I think maybe we should define it. And I know that sometimes we do get caught up in that thought loop. We get stuck. I've been there. But just to clarify, here reflection means a gentle nudge to our brains, and not one of those full-on wrestling matches with our thoughts. Does that make sense? And if we're really real, our nervous system plays an even bigger role in how we respond to these transitions. When faced with change, I might experience anxiety or overwhelm. Suddenly, my nervous system acts like a protective parent. Saying out loud like, stop or don't do that. And that's extremely normal. But it might lead me to avoid fully experiencing my feelings, or even allowing myself to take the time to reflect. It's like driving a car with the emergency brake on. Well, that's not very effective, and it's really frustrating. And we know that over time that creates issues. Let's not forget about our belief systems. If I believe that change is inherently negative, I might resist it. I might struggle to embrace it. But if I believe in my resilience, well, that might just empower me to adapt and reflect more openly. Like choosing to see a rainy day as a disaster or an opportunity to splash in some puddles, get those galoshes out. I've been reflecting on my own experiences especially around communication. And lately I felt exhausted, mainly by the lack of honesty in some interactions. It feels tough for me when people don't say what they mean or when their words don't align with their actions. Something about the niceties and the tiptoeing to get what you want or what you want to actually say, or better yet, what you actually need. Something about that really bugs me, crawls under my skin. I think it pushes up against my boundary. Something about my desire for open communication. Yeah. It pushes up against my desire for open communication. It becomes even more important during times of transitions, where that clarity can help ease that uncertainty. When we're going through changes, it's crucial to articulate our feelings and needs. And I find myself wishing for more realness, more authenticity, without causing harm, of course. But it's about respecting my boundaries and others while still being open and honest. And this has made me realize that clear communication, it allows me to navigate transitions with greater ease. It helps me feel more grounded. And to be honest, there have been many, many years of my adult life that I felt bad. I'm using air quotes. You can't see me, but I'm using air quotes. Bad about saying how I feel, about stating my needs and what I want. I think it has a lot to do with people pleasing or wanting to be accepted. Probably a little bit of both. I don't know if it's my age. Does it come with age? I'm 41 now. Or maybe it's just awareness, right? The life experiences that have grown me and my awareness. But I am exhausted. That no longer serves me. And this has nothing to do with compromise or being selfish. This has to do with wanting to connect with others in a genuine way, a way that requires me to be vulnerable, requires us to be vulnerable with one another and to effectively communicate. And maybe that's why after entering adulthood, my voice became quieter. Or maybe that being a woman, or specifically a Black woman, and those society pressures of what box I'm supposed to be in, how I'm supposed to act. There are so many ways in which we make ourselves small. And when we're small, it's really hard to connect. It's hard to be authentic and vulnerable. And I'm not talking about let's be big and egocentric type big. I'm not saying your presence needs to be qualified externally. I'm talking about keeping it 100 with me, with myself. Finding and connecting with that resilience. If you felt this way, I want you to know that you're not alone. It is really a delicate balance. And even though I'm just trying it out, embracing open communication, I feel it can lead to deeper connections and smoother transitions. I think it takes out the second guessing, the fake mind reading. I'm trying it out as really a form of self-care. And so far, I think it's been uncomfortable for others. They aren't used to it. They're not used to me. I think there was a time in my life where I felt like I was too much. And so I tried to make myself smaller. And that's not a them issue. That really is a me issue, right? How I internalize my experiences around my environment. I think we all do that to some extent. But even though others might feel uncomfortable, for me, I feel settled. I feel so settled. It's like that little anxiety that would peek its head around the corner after maybe I put out what I needed, what I wanted. I was just like waiting to see, like, will my need be met? Will they listen to me? It's subsided. It's found the stillness. I feel still. Okay. That feels like a lot to digest. So maybe we take a moment now to settle in. And maybe you tune into yourself. Did anything come up for you? Anything resonate or rub you the wrong way? As we navigate transitions, I encourage you to continue to embrace the moments of reflection, even when they feel a little uncomfortable. We're going to take a small transition here and pause to tune in, bringing in some light movement to help us connect with our bodies during this reflective process. We get to practice the cat-cow pose today. And don't worry, for those of you who aren't familiar, I'm going to slow it down and walk you through. This practice is wonderful for releasing tension and promoting awareness of our physical selves. And today you get to do this practice either seated or in the traditional all fours position, whatever feels best for you. If you're seated, I encourage you to find a comfortable position with your feet flat on the ground and allow your hands to rest on your knees. If you're on all fours, I definitely invite you to either fold your mat over, pad your knees a little bit, so maybe you're on a rug or a blanket. Just ensure that you're comfortable. And so, if you're on all fours, just allow yourself to position your wrist under your shoulders for support, pressing into your fingertips. Allow your knees to be directly under your hips. And just settling in, slowing down the breath. As we begin, we'll start by inhaling deeply through the nose. If you're seated, arch your back slightly, lift your head and chest, and gently open your heart, allowing yourself to come into cow pose. And if you need a visual, there are some great videos on YouTube that you can reference. If you're in the traditional pose on your knees, drop your belly toward the earth, lift your gaze and broaden your collarbone, creating that same arc. Now as you exhale, gently pushing through your hands, rounding your spine, tucking your chin to your chest, pressing that earth away from your palms. If you're seated, lean slightly back, drawing your belly in. And in the traditional pose, press your back toward the ceiling, tucking your tailbone. And let's gently flow between these two positions a few more times, syncing your breath with your movement. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling to cow, dropping the belly, feeling your heart shine forward. Exhale, gently tucking your chin as you round your spine, exhaling into cat. Just feel into that gentle rhythm of your breath and the movement of your spine. As you flow, allow a sense of gratitude and awareness into your heart. With each exhale, let go of any tension or negativity. When you're feeling complete, find this stillness. Notice how your body feels. And when you're ready, gently bring yourself back to this space. If you feel called to continue a flow or more movement, feel free to pause, rejoin us when you're ready. As we navigate transitions, it's crucial to recognize what we can control. What is in your control versus what we can't control, what is not in your control. And I invite you to reflect on, how can I embrace the transitions in my life while staying true to myself? How can I embrace the transitions in my life while staying true to myself? And so I invite you to spend some time just kind of considering this. How can you support yourself during these changes? Take a moment. Now you can write down your thoughts, whether it's bullet point, full sentences, draw images, whatever feels right. Get curious. Just ponder. How can I embrace the transitions in my life while staying true to myself? And how might I support myself during these changes? Then you might pause session and return back to us once you take the time to journal. Or maybe write down the question and come back to it. Just allowing yourself some reflection time. I want to take a moment to share a beautiful reflection from one of our listeners. That's right, y'all. It's Sanctuary Voices time. She's been on a meaningful journey of rediscovery, and her insights about self-love and letting go really resonate. Here's what Anna had to say. I've been on a journey of rediscovering myself, and self-love has been a big part of it. At first, it felt selfish to focus on myself, but I realized how much strength it takes to care for my own heart. One thing that's helped me is journaling. It's like giving my thoughts and feelings a safe place. Through this process, I've been learning to embrace the small steps of self-care, whether it's sitting with my emotions, writing about my dreams, or just taking a moment to breathe deeply and remind myself that I'm enough. I've always struggled with putting myself first. Being selfless has always felt like the right thing to do. But I'm learning how important it is to acknowledge my own feelings and needs. Something I've been reflecting on a lot is how I lost my dad when I was just a year old. Growing up without him shaped me so much of who I am. And now, as an adult, I'm facing something I never expected. The realization that soon I'll be older than he ever got to be. It's been hard not to compare my life to his or to what others expect of me. I catch myself wondering if I'm living up to the life he didn't get to have. But I'm slowly learning to let go of that pressure and remind myself that my journey is my own. Self-love, for me, is about finding peace in that truth and honoring where I come from, while also allowing myself the freedom to grow into who I'm meant to be. It's not easy, but I'm learning to show up for myself, to be kind to my own heart, and to take things one day at a time. And I feel that this journal is the first big step to recognizing myself in these feelings. Anna, thank you so much for sharing your heartfelt journey with us. I can't imagine what it was like to be vulnerable enough to offer your reflection for our ears. Your reflections on self-love and the struggle to prioritize yourself are incredibly relatable. It's a big deal to recognize that caring for yourself isn't selfish. It's a testament to your strength and resilience. You mentioned the loss of your dad at such a young age, and I can only imagine how that has shaped your journey. Grief has this way of weaving itself into our lives, doesn't it? It can feel like a roller coaster. Moments of sadness that catch us off guard, even years later. It's important to remember that grief isn't linear. It's messy and unpredictable. Some days you might feel a wave of sadness, while other days, well, you just might find yourself laughing and celebrating your memories. What adds another layer to this grief is not just the loss itself, but all the moments he's missed, the milestones you wished you could have shared, the laughter that echoes in your heart, and the simple day-to-day experiences that never came to be. Those unshared moments can weigh heavy on us, filling us with a sense of longing. It's a reminder of the experiences that could have enriched both of your lives. This longing is deeply intertwined with the theme of letting go that we explored in our last episode. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It's all about making peace with those feelings of longing while still acknowledging that they're a part of your journey. Like holding on to a precious memory while also allowing yourself to embrace new experiences. The act of letting go can create this space for healing and growth, even while we honor the weight of our past. Your journey of rediscovering yourself amid these transitions is so powerful. It's like that onion analogy I mentioned earlier. When we peel back the layers of an onion, sometimes it brings tears, but it also reveals this rich, complex flavors of who you're becoming. And I also hear you saying that maybe some of the grief is not yours, but others around you. And that brings a different kind of weight, expectation, pressure. Embracing the highs and lows is part of the process. And it's okay to honor those feelings of grief while also making space for joy and self-discovery and allowing you to be your own person outside of this memory. You've highlighted something essential, the importance of showing up for yourself, even when it feels challenging. Allowing yourself to feel those emotions, whether they're rooted in grief or the excitement of new beginnings, it's all a crucial part of healing. Each step you take towards self-love is a way to honor your past, while also giving yourself permission to grow into the person you're meant to be. So to everyone listening, let's take a breath. As you move through this week, I want to go back to the reflection question I posed to you earlier, reflecting on how can I embrace the transitions in my life while staying true to myself, and maybe spending more time each day considering how you can support yourself during these changes. Maybe get curious about how have transitions in your life shaped your understanding of yourself? What emotions arise when you think about the highs and lows you've experienced? Remember, this is just all part of the beautiful, messy thing we call life. Again, my deepest, humble gratitude for you, Anna. Thank you for sharing. And thank you to you all for being here. You showed up. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a session. Still welcoming your experience. I want to hear your sanctuary voice. What is healing looking like for you? Or whatever else you want to share. I am here for it. You can connect at thesanctuarywithmoriahmyles@gmail.com. All together, no spaces. Or head over to IG, Instagram. That's at @my_Mariah. Until next time, embrace each breath. And remember, our bodies have this innate wisdom, the beautiful ability to heal itself. And we heal best in community. Peace, y'all. While this podcast may feel like a therapeutic conversation, it is important to note that it is not a substitute for professional therapy or mental health. The information shared here is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used as a replacement for personalized mental health care. Although I am a therapist, I'm not acting as your therapist in this setting. If you are in need of support, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional.